we felt like we needed help in the middle, someone who could protect the paint for us, someone who could rebound for us, and someone who could be a force both on the offensive end and the defensive end, someone who's proven it in this league already, and someone who gives us a real physical presence, which we felt like we were lacking. And when Dwight became available, we all felt like he was an outstanding choice for us and someone that could fit in very well with what we're trying to accomplish. Last year we took a little step back defensively, and we want to improve on that end. And I think Dwight has proven over the years by being a Defensive Player of the Year 3 times already that he can really help on that end. And he can also help us on the offensive end. He's going to draw a lot of attention, and he'll be able to help our players at both ends of the floor. So we're really happy and pleased to have him. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Dwight Howard. Welcome.
Well done. Yeah.
First, I want to say thank you to Ernie and Coach for believing in me as a player and wanting me here in DC. And also shout out to John, for reaching out to me and asking me about joining this team and what we could accomplish, together, not only on the floor but in the community. So I'm very excited, to be here, to be a part of the Wizard family, but also to be in DC. I'm looking forward to this opportunity. I think we are going to have a wonderful season. I think we are going to really just shock a lot of people, and I think that for me and the rest of this team and organization, it's all about winning, and that is our mindset. That's the only thing that us as players have been talking about, myself, Coach, and also Ernie, is how we are excited about turning things around here in DC and just winning. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting out in the community. And just being here in this city is amazing already. I feel like I'm at home. I have a lot of friends and family here who supported me since I've been in the NBA. And I'm just extremely excited about this opportunity to play here in Washington.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for coming out. Thank Dwight's family and friends, and Dwight. He's obviously makes me a better defensive coach already. It's good to have him. I met with Dwight last week in Los Angeles, and the thing that I love about him, he's about winning. And as you grow up in this league, there's many phases of growth, and he's at the time of his career. It's about winning. It's about taking our team to the next level. We have a lot of guys on our team that are in that position in their careers, and he brings toughness, he brings leadership, he brings just a competitive spirit, and he brings a fun to the game, and I like that. We need that. And I've talked to all of our players. They're excited to have him, and our staff, our coaching staff, excited to have him. We're talking every day on how we can try to manipulate the game defensively with what we have. And what he brings to our team is you don't just find off the street. It's a high-level player. It's a player that does so many things on the defensive end, and a player that does so many things offensively. We want to shoot more threes. By having him on our team, it allows us to get more threes, because you have to pay attention to his athleticism, his ability to finish at the rim. He's a great screen setter, and he can play the game at the way that we need to play. We want to defend, we want to play with pace, and we want to share the basketball. And he's about those things. And like I said last week, he was always about us and about winning, and that's a perfect combination for a coach and a player to have a great relationship.
Just curious, you guys aren't exactly the same player, but you're both more of the traditional centers rather than the stretch 5 types. Just curious, what do you think of this small ball era, and what do you think of the fact that you didn't play late in games for the Wizards because of the fact that they had to go with the small ball up?
Like we've been talking about, it's all about winning. And, I know how Marcin felt, has been in the league for a very long time, and the game has evolved. and it's grown since I've been, you know, in the NBA. Whatever coach needs me to do, you know, I'm ready to do it, and I'm looking forward to doing it. You know, so I can't really speak on, you know, what Marcin said or how he felt. I thought Marcin, personally, I thought he's had a wonderful career. I've watched him since he's been in the NBA. We battled every day in practice, and now he's with another team. He's going to do a great job for them. But you know, today and the rest of, you know, my career here, which I plan to be here for till I retire, it's about this team. It's about us winning.
Yeah.
And you know, that's my only concern.
Waiter Dwight, welcome to DC first and foremost.
Thank you.
You did an interview with Terrell Thomas a few weeks back saying that last year was your first year playing a new style of basketball. What would you describe your new style of basketball is, and what have you done this offseason to improve that style?
Well, when I came into the league, you know, I was playing against the Shaqs, the Lonzo Mournings, the Jermaine O'Neals, and it was more so of a physical, you know, I'm going to see who's the strongest guy in the paint. It's like an arm wrestling match, you know, for the big guys, you know. And nowadays, it's not the same game, you know. So it's either evolve, adapt, or get left behind. And for me, you know, I plan on playing this game for another good 8 years. And in order for me to do that, you know, I have to really, you know, change my game. And it started last season. And last season was probably the most confident I've been, you know, in my career as far as, you know, just doing everything on the floor, you know, handling the ball, shooting, being more of a, you know, offensive threat in ISO situations and stuff like that. But I'm going to continue to work on that stuff. My whole focus is to do whatever, you know, this team is needed. So I know how to set screens. You know, it's not something that, you know, I need practice on. I've been doing it my whole life. And I know by me setting screens and rolling or doing whatever is asked is going to open up the paint for the threes for everybody else. You know, so whatever is needed, I'm available and I'm willing to do it. And that's the only thing that we've been, you know, talking about is obviously the coach wants me to continue to grow as a player, continue to get better and work on those things, but to not forget the core of what's going to make this team work. So I'm going to continue to do that stuff.
Dwight over here. Welcome to DC.
Thank you.
My name is Candace. I'm with the Washington Post. You just said two very interesting things just now that you plan on playing on 8 more years in your career, but you also said that you plan to be here until I retire.
Right.
The last 4 years you've been on 4 different teams. Dwight, what is it about this situation that makes you proclaim such a bold statement right now?
Well, actually, I was joking with my trainer earlier today, and I thought it'd be fitting. We were just talking about how, you know, I started with the Magic. I learned Magic for 8 years. Traveled to La La Land. Learned how to work with Rockets. And I really learned how to fly with some Hawks. Got stung by the Hornets. Through all of that, you know, it's taught me how to be a wizard. I thought that was pretty cool. But, you know, I think that this is will be a great place for me. You know, no disrespect to any of the point guards that I played with in my career. John is a different type of animal. The way he passes the ball, the way he draws so much attention with, you know, his aggressiveness on the offensive end is going to make it very difficult, you know, for teams to really guard the pick and roll. And at this point in John's career, it's about one thing, and that's winning. And, you know, I know that he was very disappointed last year in the fact that he missed half the season, the fact that we lost in the first round of the playoffs. You know, all that stuff was very, you know, hard for John. And I know he's going to come back, you know, ready, you know, to prove to everybody that you know, we have an unbelievable team. And, you know, then you have a guy like Bradley Beal, who's rising. You know, I think last year was one of his best offensive years, but he's not satisfied, you know. And all of us have something to prove, and, you know, we want to do it together. And I feel like this city, this team is a place where, you know, I would want to end my career.
You know, kind of, you know, show a different side of, you know, how you plan on running your team with pick and rolls and different things in order to utilize his skill set to take this team to the next level?
There's no question I'm excited about having him on our team. I know he wants to play 8 more years. I'm not so sure I can coach 8 more years, but the stress of the job. But I love the opportunity to coach him. You know, I've been in the league a lot as a player and as a coach. I have a lot of guys around the league that I respect, and you know, I know that Candace said that he's been with a few teams the last few years, but I've talked to a lot of guys that called me and said, "Hey man, you're gonna love him." And I asked, "Well, what am I gonna love about him?" And he said, "He's competitive. He plays hard. You don't become the player he is by not doing the right things day in, day out." He's an 8-time All-Star, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He averaged 17 and 13 last year. What is not to like about that? My job is to make it all work. You know, we have a lot of good players. You know, he's never played with a team that has 2 All-Star players in the backcourt in their prime. He's playing with 4 men that can really do a lot of good things in Keith. You know, pass, shoot, defend, and rebound, and switch off defensively. And then Otto is as good as guy you're going to find as a glue guy that's going to do all the winning things and tangible things. And we have a good bench. We added a lot of good players. Austin Rivers, Jeff Green, who I coached and who is a terrific all-around player. I know Troy, our draft pick, is going to be a terrific young player and developing player. So adding him is definitely, we want to play fast. How do you play fast? You don't play fast by getting the ball out of the rim, out through the net. You got to get it off the rim and get out and run. He's the best rebounder in the league. And able to do that, it creates offense for our guys that can play fast, that can shoot. And it gives him an opportunity to get the ball where they don't have to worry about double teams. We have a lot of good players on the court with him, so he's going to see some things that he's probably not seen with the players that he's playing with. So I think my job is to make it all work and put it all together, and I got a couple of months to think about that with my staff going into training camp.
The way things played out?
Not at all. But, you know, it worked out great, you know. And, you know, I've been put with a wonderful organization, a great coach, great teammates, great GM, and a really good city, you know. So it all worked out perfect. Like you said, you know, I never played with, you know, 2 All-Stars in their prime. And, you know, then, you know, the rest of the guys, Keith, Otto, Kelly, man, you know, I really think we have a really good opportunity to win and win big here in the East. And all of us are hungry, you know, so it couldn't have happened at a better time. You know, I have a lot of friends out here in D.C. and they've been asking me about D.C. for the longest. And to finally be here, and it feels like home, so I'm looking forward to it.
Back there. I want to ask you, what was that conversation like with John? You said he reached out to you. At what point in this process did that come about, and what did he say to you that convinced you to come?
Well, he just said, "Do you want to come to D.C.?"
Right.
It wasn't too much to be said. After he said that, I was like, "Bro, I'm with it." You know, man, just that conversation was like a confirmation for me. You know, just him reaching out. It was like, man, I never had a guy like John Wall as a point guard. You know, so why like lose that opportunity? Especially when we're both in points of our careers where it's only about one thing. I was all in. You know, I told him that.
Hey, Dwight, Steve Clifford said that basically, even though, you know, the way you train and how good you look physically, that it had been what he believes was a 5 or 6 year process with the back, with the knee, to get you to feeling like the old Dwight Howard. What was that process like for you, and how much, as people sort of critique your performance, is that undervalued?
Well, if there's anybody in this room who's ever had a back injury or who's ever hurt their back, I think they will understand how hard it is to really recover, you know, from that. And it's not an ankle injury or, you know, you hurting your wrist or breaking your arm. You know, this is something that affects your whole body, you know, from just the neurological standpoint, you know. So after the first time I heard about me having to have back surgery, it was kind of like, man, this is not good, you know. And I can remember sitting in the doctor's office and him saying that if I don't have surgery, I'll never play basketball again. So as a basketball player, that kind of messes up the way you just think about everything. Because it's like, man, I could never play this sport that I love and that I train every day for again, you know. So after going through that process and then having minor injuries after that, it was kind of tough to deal with. But you know, I never stopped training, never stopped believing in myself, and I always pushed myself even harder to get back to where I wanted to get to. And you know, I went from not even being able to walk 20 meters to being able to run in 3 months. You know, so it's just a testament to, you know, how much, you know, I put into this game and the sport and myself. And last year was probably the healthiest I've been, you know, in the last 4 or 5 years. So this summer I felt really good. Still doing a lot of the things that, you know, I was doing. They consider my old Dwight. I'm still doing all those things. I'm touching the top of the backboard and all the crazy stuff. I'm back doing it. So I thank my trainers for that. And I'm looking forward to doing that here in DC. I got the cape. It was a little dusty. I had a couple holes in it, so I had my seamstress put it back together. And I got it clean. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to putting the cape back on. Enjoying my time here in DC.
Okay, Dwight, welcome to DC.
Thank you.
To this point in your career, you've overcome so much physically, you've traveled, as you mentioned. But last year, for us here, at points the locker room was a little bit of an enigma. So in terms of the intangibles, in terms of the leadership and those ways in which you've developed, how do you hope to contribute here in DC?
Whatever my coach needs me to do, you know, I'm down for it. You know, like I said, it's all about us winning, and it's going to take all of us to do that. You know, the grind of the NBA season, you know, is something that a lot of people, if you've never been in it, it's really hard to understand. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, but that's just what it is when you play the sport and you play it at a high level, and everybody, and they have that same attitude of wanting to win. You know, there's going to be time where you get emotional. You know, it's just like if you was, you know, in a war or anywhere, you know, with a group of people that have that same mentality where it's all about winning. You know, I've been in a lot of wars, I've been in a lot of battles on the floor, and you know, I understand, you know, where I'm at, I understand where this team is at and where we're trying to get to, and we're going to have to do it together. You know, so no matter what happens throughout the year, the only way we're going to get through it is together. And you know, it takes a lot for that to happen. You know, you really got to put your ego to the side and focus on one thing, and that's winning. You know, a lot of times when you have your ego in the way, it kind of stops you from being successful. You know, so I think this team right here, you know, we no egos. I was once told to put the ego in the back pocket and focus on the front. focus on the chess, which is the team. And I think that's what we got to do. When we do that, we'll be very successful.
Are you about basketball?
Well, what I did was last summer, was summer before last, I just started going to different parks and places like that in Atlanta, just playing basketball and just watching a lot of kids play. And, you know, that really just helped me go back to that moment in time where I was young and, you know, trying to get myself back, or get myself to the NBA and what that felt like. And, you know, I just would sit back and I would just smile and watch how these kids would just train and, you know, how they just play one-on-one and all the little stuff and the trash talk and all that stuff. And what that did, what that was doing for them and how that was me. You know, I saw myself as a kid again and how that was the best time in life. You know, is saying, you know what, hey, I can do this. I can be this person. I can be the best basketball player in the world. And that's what really kind of helped me get my passion back. And, you know, I believe the best way to play this game is to have fun. You know, and having fun doesn't mean, you know, smiling the whole game or anything like that. But having fun is dominating. Having fun is, for me, it's blocking shots, rebounding, setting hard screens, dunking on somebody. That's fun for me, you know, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with smiling after you do it. You know, 'cause
It's fun for me also.
but I just think that that's important that you enjoy what you do. You know, if not, why are you doing it? You know, that's how I've always approached everything. And I know for a couple of years it was hard for me to do that, you know, because of the business side of it. But, you know, I've gained that passion back. You know, I enjoy this game. This game has brought so much to me and my family and my friends that, you know, why not enjoy it? You only get one time around the track. And why not enjoy this time that you have? So that's how I take it. And, you know, I won't let anybody or anything, you know, steal my joy. You know, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Thank you, Dwight. We'll move the table here and have everybody get some photos and then one-on-one